Not gonna lie, bro, almost every person in this world suffers from one phobia or another. A phobia is an uncontrollable, irrational, and lasting fear of a certain object, situation, or an activity. This fear can be so overwhelming that a person may go to great lengths to avoid the source of this fear. And in this video, I've created a list of 5 weird phobias that I came across, like Diddyphobia, but we'll talk about this one later. First on our list is Arachibutyrophobia. You're chewing down on a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich, savoring that sweet, sticky goodness, when suddenly the peanut butter sticks to the roof of your mouth. For most of us, it's merely annoying, like, oh, where's the milk? But for some, it's pure terror. In other words, Arachibutyrophobia is the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Some people can consume small quantities of peanut butter as a dip for vegetables, while others are afraid to eat peanut butter at all. In some cases, the fear extends to other peanut products, from peanut butter ice cream to peanut sauces. Like other types of phobias, a person with arachibutyrophobia may experience several emotional, physical, and behavioral symptoms. Common symptoms associated with arachibutyrophobia are feelings of fear and anxiety when they encounter situations where they might ingest peanut butter. Physical symptoms such as difficulty in breathing, rapid heartbeat, sweating, and trembling. Feeling of dizziness, nausea, or an upset stomach, avoiding any situation where they might encounter peanut butter as an ingredient. Disruptions in daily life or activities due to fear and avoidance. There are no specific registered cases of arachibutyrophobia, and what causes arachibutyrophobia is still unknown, so I assume it's a really rare phobia that won't occur commonly. But research has shown that this phobia tends to run in families. This is due to inheritance and observing anxious behavior in family members. People with higher levels of behavioral inhibition are more likely to develop this phobia. Additionally, having a traumatic experience with peanut butter can contribute to the formation of arachibutyrophobia. For example, if you choked on peanut butter in the past, that experience might lead you to develop an intense fear of having the same thing happen again. Next on our list is Globophobia, also known as the fear of balloons. For some, balloons aren't just party decorations for your birthday, they are an absolute nightmare. Globophobia is a type of specific phobia that means extreme fear of spherical objects, which also includes balloons, and occurs most frequently in children, with many of them growing out of their fear before adolescence. In some cases, instead of growing out of their fear, the symptoms of globophobia can worsen over time. In search of the case, I came across this Reddit post where a user mentions, "When I was a kid, my mom always told me that I never liked them, especially when they pop. As I didn't like the sound, I was sensitive to lots of loud sounds like train horns, champagne bottles popping, fireworks, etc. But for some reason, balloons stuck with me. I can't be in a room if someone is blowing one up, and I get really nervous if they're on the floor. If a child is playing with one, then I need to leave the room in case it pops. I can't go to birthday parties, christenings, festivals, or anywhere where there will be balloons. I feel silly and embarrassed and I want to overcome it, but I don't know how. It's been with me for a long time at this point, and I can't see myself getting over it. Not being able to enjoy parties and festivals. That's sad. Globophobia is a relatively unknown phobia, although it is becoming more recognized within the UK. In the US, an estimated 9.1% of adults experienced a specific phobia as recorded in the past year, with women being more affected than men with 12.2% versus 5.8%. Globophobia can cause a rapid heart rate, heart palpitations, and feeling like your heart is pounding, a prickly sensation similar to pins and needles, a dry or a sticky mouth, shaking or trembling, or chills. Globophobia can include the fear of several types of balloons, like inflated balloons, deflated balloons, latex/rubber balloons, foil balloons, balloon animals, helium balloons, balloons filled with air, water balloons, or hot air balloons. However, not every person with a phobia requires treatment. If your symptoms are mild or do not impact your everyday life or well-being, or you have implemented successful coping strategies, you may not require treatment. Third on our list is Octophobia, which is the fear of the number 8. Imagine you're chilling in math class, doodling in your notebook. When your teacher scribbles an 8 on the board, suddenly your classmate's a mess, sweating buckets, trembling like they have seen a ghost or something. Well, that's how this phobia affects people. Octophobia can cause increased heart rate, sweating, shortness of breath, nausea or vomiting, trembling, or shaking. Being this scary, octophobia is considered a relatively uncommon phobia. A Reddit user mentions their struggle with octophobia. For years, I've been ruled by my phobia. Despite my best efforts to avoid it, I'm triggered by something so seemingly innocuous that I can never know when it's coming. I'm seized by my phobia. I'm terrorized by my phobia. I'm controlled by my phobia. Above all, I'm exhausted by my phobia. So much so that the simple thought of it makes my mouth dry and my hands clammy, making my heart start to beat a bit faster. So much so that the sight of it launches me into an instant anxiety attack, leaves me choking for air, turns my stomach until I've emptied it completely. If you want to read their full story, the link to the Reddit post is in the description. And even healthcare providers aren't sure of what causes octophobia. There aren't any tests to diagnose the fear of the number 8, but they believe it's often caused by genetics, cultural meanings, and traumatic experiences associated with the number 8. Doctors believe that cognitive behavioral therapy, exposure therapy, and hypnotherapy can help in the treatment of octophobia. Fourth on our list is Diddyphobia, also known as the fear of P. Diddy. And this is somehow a real phobia, by the way. Patients with Diddyphobia start freaking out whenever Diddy is shown. Some even start freaking out over anything that resembles or reminds them of Diddy. There is no known cure for Diddyphobia, and the cause of Diddyphobia is currently unknown. It is said to be a relatively recent phenomenon due to the recent allegations against Diddy himself. One theory suggests that this is due to excessive exposure to Diddy's music, causing the person to subconsciously develop a fear with a vague sense of being powerless against Diddy, whom they perceive to be far stronger, despite not being in contact with him in any way, shape, or form. However, this theory is disputed by many Diddyologists. Another theory argues that the rise in cases of Diddyphobia are the result of a form of mass psychosis, though, like the aforementioned hypothesis, numerous Diddyologists dispute this. While there are other theories designed in an attempt to explain the cause of Diddyphobia and even the contemporary rising cases of the disorder, there is no widely accepted reason for such. Therefore, the cause of Diddyphobia is not known. Symptoms as a result of Diddyphobia vary widely among sufferers of the disease. Documented symptoms include, but are not limited to, shaking, twitching, vomiting, panic attacks, anxiety, seizures, heart attacks, and death. Also, irrational fears, such as the fear that Diddy will appear in their closet during nighttime and enslave them, or that they will wake up in Diddy's lair, or also that Diddy is personally spying on them. Other documented irrational worries exist, but those are the most common ones. Exposure therapy has proven ineffective against Diddyphobia, and sufferers have often exhibited increasingly strong symptoms of Diddyphobia despite the attempts of this form of therapy. Additionally, CBT has proven unsuccessful, as all efforts to use it in order to eliminate or weaken Diddyphobia have either done nothing or slightly worsened the disorder. However, Diddyologists have theorized that a hypothetical vaccine for Diddyphobia, an obscure form of surgery, or perhaps an undiscovered substance used to create a medicine could potentially cure the Diddyphobia outbreak if properly utilized. Anti-anxiety medications do not work. Last but not least, Omphalophobia, the fear of belly buttons. You're at the beach, soaking up the sun, when someone starts acting shady. They go quiet, then bam, full-on panic attack. Confused as hell until they shout, "Too many belly buttons." Yup, that's Omphalophobia. For these folks, a belly button isn't just skin, it's a trigger. Beaches, pools, anywhere with exposed midriffs. Nope, they're out. Some even slap a bandage over their own navel to dodge the dread. Omphalophobia is considered one of the rarer and least documented phobias. However, it's not as common as you might expect. Several celebrities, including singer Jennifer Frost and reality TV star Khloe Kardashian, have publicly acknowledged their fear of belly buttons. What causes omphalophobia can stem from a variety of factors, often intertwining the psychological with the personal, creating a complex tapestry of anxiety. For some, early negative experiences or traumas related to bodily image may cultivate a deep-seated aversion to this unique part of human anatomy. Others might find themselves perplexed by the irregular shapes and appearances of belly buttons, leading to feelings of discomfort or unease reminiscent of dysmorphia. Additionally, cultural influences and societal pressures regarding bodily standards can amplify these fears, making individuals more self-conscious about their own bodies and the bodies of others. The symptoms of your omphalophobia can be both specific as well as common across the population. starting from an anxiety about being near to belly buttons, panic attacks or anxiety attacks in situations where belly buttons are present or anticipated to be present, safety behaviors or avoidance of situations that may involve belly buttons, physical symptoms such as rapid heartbeat, sweating, trembling, and shortness of breath when faced with a belly button, feeling of helplessness or being out of control in the presence of belly buttons, obsessive thoughts or nightmares related to belly buttons. And these were the 5 weirdest phobias you never heard of. Comment down below and tell me which one you think is the weirdest. If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe because new videos will be coming out every week. Goodbye.